I will encourage you to make sure that your mat is horizontal, so the same way that my mat is facing you. And that's because we're going to be working with a few mandalas today, where we go from one direction to the other. I'd love for you to be able to keep your head facing forward so that you're not turning around trying to see what's happening. So take your time, get yourself set up here. And we are going to start standing today. We'll start with a little bit of a dynamic stretch this morning, so a little bit more active movement to start warming up the body, warming up the muscles. So once you are ready, you set yourself up here. You can start with your feet side by side. Your feet are at hip width distance. So very often, especially as ladies, we try to go a little wider. Remember that that is about shoulder width. You actually want to be a little more narrow. So hip bones are stacked over the knees. Start by taking a deep breath in. And an exhale. Then deep breath in through your nose. Exhale. As you inhale, reach your arms overhead, take a nice big stretch, look to the sky. Hands to heart. Exhale. And release your hands to the sides of your body. Start by lowering your chin to your chest. And as you're breathing, with the inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale, bring your left ear to the left shoulder. And inhale, coming back to the right. Rocking the head from side to side. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. So you're rolling the chin down to the chest and over to the opposite side. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And then bring your chin back to your chest. Inhale, bring your head back up. And then bring the arms overhead, nice big stretch, palms together. Look to the sky, and on the exhale, float the hands together. You can step the feet a little wider. So not coming to your maximum width, but you're coming just a little bit wider. And then we're going to be doing a little bit of side stretching. So as you inhale, reach both arms over, and then take a stretch to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, stretch to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale the opposite side. Inhale to center. Exhale the opposite side. If you find that your breath is a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, you can absolutely take a little bit more or less time as you flow. The idea is that your body moves at the same rhythm as your breath. One more on each side. Back to center, hands to heart. Step the feet even wider. Toes are pointing in and the heels are pointing out very slightly here. You can take your hands to your waist. And on the exhale, bending forward. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, bending forward. Keep the spine nice and straight, not rounding the shoulders. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, come down halfway. Again, you're pushing the hips back, keeping the legs straight as possible. Inhale up. Exhale, halfway down. Keep the shoulders rolling back. Inhale to center. Exhale, come down halfway. One more. Inhale. Exhale. This time take your fingertips to the ground. Now from here, inhale, lift halfway. Keep your fingertips on the ground. Exhale, bend the elbows, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Keep with this rhythm, keep with this pattern, lengthening on the inhale, deepening on the exhale. Couple more. Back to center, inhale, halfway lift. Keep your fingertips on the ground, turn your toes out and your heels in. And we're coming into side lunge. So again, as this is dynamic, exhale, you bend to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bend the left knee. Inhale, back to center. Again, moving at the rhythm of your breath. Try to keep it nice and slow, controlled. Whichever leg is straight, you're pushing that hip back. So again, whichever leg is straight, push that hip back. Back to center on the inhale, opposite side on the exhale. More. And try not to round the shoulders. You want to keep the spine nice and long. Shoulders roll back. 2 more on each side. Once you've finished up, come back to center. And then from here, take your hands to your waist and then rise to standing. You're keeping your legs wide, feet pointing out. We're coming into a goddess stance. Now from the goddess, again, you want to drop down through the tailbone, lift your navel towards your spine, and keep the upper body nice and aligned, shoulders rolling back. You can try lifting your toes and notice where the weight shifts on your feet. And then from here, arms up, and bring your arms into a T-shaped position. From here, you're sliding from side to side again. Inhale and exhale. You might find a rhythm that feels a little different. Maybe you're inhaling to one side, exhaling to the other. Or maybe you inhale to one side, exhale to center. Inhale to the other side, exhale to center. Bring your fingertips, or rather your hands to your thighs, fingertips pointing in. And on the exhale, drop the right shoulder back to center. Inhale. Exhale, the left shoulder comes down. Inhale to center. So again, with the rhythm. Inhale up. Exhale, drop your opposite shoulder. Inhale back to center. Continue with this flow. As you may have noticed, we're working with all directions of the spine. So the spine likes to forward fold, side bend, rotate, and back bend. So we're going to get a little bit of all of that in this practice today. 1 more of these on each side. From here, straighten the legs. Give them a little pat if you find that they're feeling a little bit worked out. And then you can step the feet a little bit closer. You're keeping a wide stance, but it's not going to be quite as wide anymore. Setting up in Trikonasana triangle, you're going to turn the right toes to the right side of the room. Keep the left foot in the same direction it is. Start with the arms in a T-shaped position, and then keep the arms level with the floor. Slide towards the right. So the arms are level with the floor, you're really reaching towards the right. And then from here, Trikonasana, you can lower that right hand to your thigh, your shin, or hovering above the ground. You want to draw that left shoulder back so the chest is open. And imagine you've got like a scoop coming out of the side of your body. On the right side, you're lifting your ribs. You want to make sure that your head is not hanging here. You're always in alignment. Back to center, inhale. Keep the arms in a T-shaped position and simply swap the feet. So now the right foot is pointing towards the front, left foot towards the left. Keep your arms level with the ground as you slide your body to the left, the hips move to the right. Once you've gone to the maximum of that is when you start to bring yourself into Trikonasana. Right shoulder draws back, chest elevated, ribs elevated. Again, the head doesn't like to hang. It always likes to stay aligned with your neck and your spine. Back to center, inhale. And then bring your hands behind your back. And turn the toes in slightly, heels out, interlace the fingers, and fold forward. More breaths. One more. Take one more breath in. Lower your hands on your exhale. Take your halfway lift, inhale, and walk your hands towards your right foot. Turn your feet to point towards the right, and you're in your lunge position. As this is dynamic, on the exhale, you're going to lunge a little bit farther. Inhale, you're going to straighten the front leg. Exhale, lunge in the right leg. Inhale, draw back. Exhale, lunge. Keep the chest elevated as much as possible. Inhale, straighten the front leg. It's okay if it stays a little bent. Getting that nice opening, that nice awakening through the front leg. Again, using the breath to determine the speed and rhythm of which the body moves. Last one. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, bend the front knee, standing splits. Lift the right leg or left left leg in the air. And on the exhale, bring your knee to nose, round your shoulders, tuck the chin. Take back through the inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, knee to nose. One more, take back through the inhale. Knee to nose on the exhale. Lower the left foot to the ground. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Ragdoll position on the exhale. Hold your elbows, 3 breaths here. Your knees can bend, or you can start to push the inner thighs towards the wall behind you, straightening the legs. Again, lift your toes. Last breath. Release your arms, bend the knees, rise to standing all the way up, palms together. And on the exhale, float the hands to your heart. Samasthiti. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, chair pose, sit the hips back. Take a breath in. Fold on the exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Left leg back, exhale. Twisted lunge. Left hand to the ground, right arm to the sky. Take one breath in. And then shifting into Ardha Vashisthasana, modified side plank. You're on the outer edge of the left foot, using your right leg as a support. Inhale, reach the right arm forward, lift the hips. Exhale, reach back, lower the hips. Again, inhale, reach forward, lift the hips. Exhale, reach back and lower. Again, inhale. Exhale, we'll do 2 more. Reach forward, inhale. Exhale, reach back, last one. Inhale. Exhale. As you inhale, reach forward, plant the hands, step back into your downward facing dog. Now from your down dog, you're going to lift the heels on the inhale, push them down on the exhale. Inhale again, lift your heels, push down on the exhale. Inhale, lift the heels, look forward, plank position, hold here for a breath in and out. Come down to your knees and slowly, for the count of 5, down to your belly. 4, keep the elbows nice and tight. 3, 2, and 1. Baby Cobra, lift your heart. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes, back through table, into your downward facing dog. From your down dog, lift the right leg. Knee to nose, exhale. Inhale, kick back. Knee to nose, exhale. One more, inhale. Exhale, step into your lunge. Warrior 1. Lower the back heel. Bring the arms up overhead. The shoulders are squared towards the front where you're facing forward. Exhale, cactus the elbows. Inhale, reach the arms up. Cactus on the exhale. One more, inhale. Cactus on the exhale. Bring the hands behind your back. Interlace the fingers, lift your heart. And then fold forward, humble warrior. Lift the arms, soften your head. And you're pushing through the outer edge of the back foot. And here, lower your fingertips to the ground. Walk your hands towards the left. We're coming into wide leg, forward fold. Toes pointing in, heels pointing out. Take your halfway lift. Hold on the exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Let's take a twist. Keep your left hand on the ground and reach that right arm all the way up. Inhale, bring that right arm to the ground. Stay in your halfway lift. We'll switch sides. Left arm comes all the way up into your twisted, wide leg, forward fold. Lower both hands down. And then from here, walk your hands towards the left foot. Turn both feet towards the left. And as you exhale, lunge. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, lunge to the left. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Few more. Exhale. Keep the chest elevated, shoulders back. Inhale to straighten. Two more. Inhale. Last one. Inhale, straighten. Now as you exhale, bend the front knee, standing split, right leg in the air. Knee to nose on your exhale. Inhale, kick back. Again, exhale, knee to nose. Kick back on the inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, knee to nose. And then lower your right foot to the ground. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Index and middle fingers around the big toes, Hatha-Vinyasa-inspired. As you wrap the fingers, bend your elbows, relax your head, and lean a little bit more weight forward. Just a little bit here. Relax your head, relax your neck. If you'd like to go a little bit farther, start to pull your shoulders towards the ceiling so the shoulders move away from your ears. Two more breaths. Release your hands, bend your knees, rise to standing. Inhale. Hands to heart on the exhale. Come through. Inhale, rise. Utkatasana, chair pose. Take a breath in. And then fold on your exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Step your right leg back this time. Twisted lunge. Right hand to the ground. Left arm to the sky. And then modified side plank. Ardha Vinyasa-inspired. You're on the outer edge of the right foot. Left leg is used as a support. Inhale, reach that left arm forward, lift the hips. Exhale, lower down, reach that left arm back. Four more. Inhale. Exhale. Three more. As you inhale, use the abs, use the core of the body to lift the hips. Exhale. Three more. Inhale. Exhale. Almost there. Last one. And then lower your left hand. Come into your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift the heels on the inhale. Push them down on the exhale. Again, inhale, lift your heels. Round them through the exhale. Inhale, lift the heels, look forward, plank position, hold here. Navel to spine. And then for the count of 3, come down to your belly. For 2, keep the elbows nice and close. For 1, inhale, baby cobra, lift your heart. Release on the exhale. Tuck your toes back into your downward facing dog. Lift your left leg. Knee to nose on the exhale. Inhale, kick back. Knee to nose again, exhale. Inhale, kick back. Knee to nose and step all the way forward. Warrior 1. Lower the back heel, bring the arms up. Cactus on the exhale. Again, reach up. Exhale, cactus, use the muscles in the upper back. Last one, reach up. Cactus on the exhale. Interlace the hands behind your back. Lift the heart. Humble warrior. Fold forward. Left shoulder to your left thigh. Lift the arms. And soften the back of your neck. Lower your hands to the ground. Walk your hands towards the right, back into your wide leg. Forward fold. Toes pointing out. Heels pointing in. Take your halfway lift. Come down to the right. So you're bending the right knee. You can either stay here in a half side lunge. You're going to push that left hip back. Or come down into Skandasana. A little bit lower. Your choice here. If you are in your Skandasana, you can play around with your balance. Maybe taking a side stretch. Or if there's another variation like a bind, if you'd like to take that, you can do that here as well. 2 more breaths wherever you've landed. Both fingertips to the ground. Back up into your wide leg forward fold. And as you exhale, bend the left knee. Again, if you're in a side lunge and you keep the hips high, you're pushing the right hip back when the left knee bends. Otherwise, Skandasana, a little lower, taking the same variation that you did on the other side. Fingertips to the ground, wide leg forward fold. On both feet pointing the same direction. Take your hands to your waist, lift the heart, shoulders back, navel to spine, and then slowly rise to standing. I don't know about you, I'm feeling pretty warm right now. So the body's nice and warm. We started to loosen the muscles, the connective tissue that holds the muscles. Great time to take a glass of water if you'd like to sip before we move on. Then from here, heel toe the feet together. And we'll come to the top of your mat. You can decide which one's the top. For now, it doesn't really matter which side you call the top of your mat. We will be continuing with the mandala as we turn around. So then from here, you want to start by bringing your left knee to your chest. Pull it in nice and tight. Take a moment to release your ankles, your toes. And then open into your tree pose from here. So you're placing that left foot either above or below the right knee. You never want to place pressure on the knee. That can cause some damage to the joint. So it's always above or below. And then from here, you can take your palms together in front of your heart. Anjali Mudra. You could take another variation if you'd like with your arms. You could lift the arms. Could actually bend the elbows from here. This can be a really nice stretch through the triceps and the shoulders and the chest. You could also take reverse prayer or another variation with the arms behind your back. From here, take your hands back in front of your heart center. And then you're going to cross that left ankle over the right thigh. Left ankle over the right thigh, like you're in a pigeon pose here. And then from here, you're sitting back into that chair. So this might already feel like a really deep stretch, and that's perfectly fine. If you're feeling good here, you can stay. If you would like to go a little bit deeper, you're going to fold forward and bring your fingertips to the ground. And then if you'd like to go even farther, you can start to bend that right leg a little bit more. So your standing leg is going to bend. You're going to walk your hands forward a little bit more deeply. Playing around here with releasing through the glute, the lower back and the hip. From here, rise to standing. So nice and slow, take a couple breaths as you come up. And then bring that left knee back up to your chest. And then from here, send the left leg back, toppling tree pose. You've got your hands in front of your heart to begin. You want to make sure that those left toes are pointing straight to the floor. That means the hips are square. You can float the hands to the sides of the body, palms facing down, lift the heart, breathe. One more breath. And then step back into your lunge position. You've got the hands beside the body, palms facing down, you're leaning forward, and then you're gonna lift the back heel, pull the right hip back, left hip forward, and then bring the hands in front of your heart in prayer. This time you're taking a twist. Left elbow to your right thigh, and you're looking up towards the right elbow. Stay nice and low in your lunge if possible. 2 more breaths. And then from here, rise, so bring the arms up overhead, and then lower your fingertips to the ground. From here, you're stepping back into your 3-legged plank. So send the right foot back. And as you exhale, Chaturanga, halfway or all the way. Up dog or cobra on the inhale. Adho Mukha, down dog on the exhale. Couple of breaths here. Lift your right leg. Knee to nose, exhale. Kick back. Exhale, knee to right elbow, same side. Kick back, inhale. Exhale, knee to left elbow, cross the body. Kick back. And then step your right foot to the outside of the right hand. Right foot to the outside of the right hand. Both hands are at the instep, you're in the lizard pose. If you'd like to lower the back knee, that's also available to you here. You can also keep the knee lifted. Keep the chest lifted, shoulders back, and you're breathing. From here, Malasana Yogi Squat. Step your left foot to the outside of the left hand, feet wide, toes out, heels in, and come down into your squat. Palms together, elbows to the inner thighs. Fingertips to the ground. Lift your hips. And then heel toe the feet together. Big toes touching. Leave a little bit of space between the heels. Take your halfway lift. Inhale. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Rise through the inhale. Take a little back bend. Hands to heart on the exhale. Breathe here. 3 breaths. Consciously slowing down the exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, palms together, hands to heart. Bring your right knee to your chest. So come through the other side. So the right knee comes up to your chest. Take a moment to release your ankle and your toes. Tree pose, open that right knee and place your foot at the same height that you did on the other side. And again, whichever arm variation you like today. Maybe that's reverse prayer. Maybe that's arms overhead, open the branches, whatever it is. You're finding one steady point to gaze at. So maybe that's on the wall in front of you. Maybe there's a point on the floor that you can focus your attention on. Preferably something that doesn't move. From here, bring your hands back in front of your heart. And then cross your right ankle over the left thigh. Bring back into that funky chair position. Again, you can start to sit back into chair. This might be a really nice stretch. If so, please stay. If you'd like to go farther, then you're going to bring your fingertips to the ground and start to bend that standing leg a little bit more deeply. So exploring different dynamics of this same pose, different levels. You might find that you play around and move between one and the other. It's all about exploring. From here, come back to standing. Bring that right knee to your chest. And then tip forward, toppling tree pose, send the right leg back. Bring your hands to the sides of your body, palms facing down. Breathe. Step back into your lunge. Now you want to lift the back heel, bring your hands in front of your heart center, you're leaning forward. And then twisted lunge. Bring that right elbow to your left thigh. And continue to twist open. Bring your hands down. Step back into your 3-legged plank. Left leg up, and then chaturanga, halfway or all the way. Up dog or cobra, you can lower that left foot now. Back into your downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. One more. Lift your left leg. Knees, nose, exhale. Kick back, inhale. Knee to left elbow, same side. Inhale, kick back. Knee across the body, right elbow. Kick back, inhale. Step your left foot to the outside of the left hand. Lizard pose. Again, both hands are at the instep. You could lower the back knee or keep it lifted. Keep the chest elevated. Shoulders strong. Nice deep breathing. Going to step your right foot to the outside of the right hand, back into yogi squat, malasana. Now this time in your yogi squat, you can either stay right here in the center, or you can start with a bind. So it would be left fingertips to the ground, right arm to the sky. You can actually stay here as well. Or wrap your arms around the left leg and behind the back of your body, coming into your bind. Now this is a very challenging pose, so if you're finding that you're struggling or feeling pain, please do not stay. You're going to switch sides, bring both arms up, right fingertips to the ground, left arm lifts. Again, this is a really great place to practice. And then if you'd like, take your bind, wrapping the arms around that right leg, lift the heart. Both arms to the sky. And then from here, bring your fingertips to the floor behind you. Sit back onto your bum. And then pull your legs together here. Both knees are bent. You can hug the knees. Take a couple of breaths here. So you're going to roll back. So if you find that rolling does not feel supportive, that's totally fine. So if you do like to roll, you're going to round the spine and then roll back, maybe a couple of times, and eventually you're going to end up with your knees to your chest on your back. If that doesn't feel good, start by coming onto your forearms, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, and then pull the knees to your chest. You've got both knees to your chest. You're going to keep the right knee pulled in and stretch that left leg forward. You can keep the heel lifted off the ground. If you're really not feeling like doing that, no worries. You can always lower the left heel to the floor. Now, whatever you're doing here, whether that left heel is lifted or lowered, you want to squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. You can stretch your right leg to the sky, hold on to the hamstrings just behind the thigh. And then from here, now both legs are active. You're flexing both feet. You're pulling the inner thighs together, imagining that you're holding a block between the knees. And then you want to try and get the low back as flat as possible to the floor. It's okay if it doesn't quite touch the floor. It's about the action of bringing that low back towards the floor. Bring your hands behind your head, elbows wide. Exhale, lift the heart. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift the chest. Again, inhale, lower down. Try not to round the neck. Exhale, lift the chest. 2 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Last one. And lift. Inhale, lower down. Pull both knees to your chest. You can rock a little bit from side to side. Giving the low back a little massage. And then again, switch sides. Left knee to your chest, right leg stretched forward. Same as you did on the other side. Stretch your left leg towards the sky. Inner thighs are active. And then making that low back as flat as possible. So you can pull your belly button towards the spine. Hands behind your head, elbows wide. Lift the heart on the exhale. Lower down through the inhale. 4 more. Keep the feet flexed. 2 more. Last one. Both knees to your chest. Give yourself a hug. And maybe rocking from side to side. From here, round your shoulders. Tuck your chin. And roll back up into a seated position. Boat pose, Navasana. So in your boat, you're going to keep the inner thighs active. Again, imagining that you're holding a block between the knees. The reason for that is that if we imagine the core as being everything from the inner thighs, or rather the inner arches of the feet all the way up the inner legs, and then through the center of the body, that means that we need to really engage through the center of the body, or in this case, the inner thighs. And as you engage the inner thighs, really start to feel what happens in the lower abdomen. That's where we start to activate. So then from here, leaning back, I'm going to lift your feet off the ground. If you're feeling like you would like some support, you can always bring your fingertips, or rather hands, to the ground, fingertips folding forward, pointing forward rather. Don't fold your fingertips, that sounds painful. Otherwise, you can keep your arms extended forward. And then from here, bring your feet, or rather your legs, your shins, so that they're parallel to the ground. Inhale, lean back, straighten the legs. Exhale, knees to chest, boat. 4 more, sorry. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, back to boat. 3 more. If you're really finding this challenging, you can always stay in your boat and work on strength there. 2 more. Last one. Feet to the ground, butterfly pose. Soles of your feet together. You're holding on to your ankles here. You can pull the heels really close towards you, or you can actually walk the feet a little farther away from you. Both variations are perfectly fine. Really going to depend on your body and your structure. You might find untucking the flesh of your sit bones can really support you here. And then start to fold forward. And start with the spine long, chest lifted, shoulders back. And then once you've found your maximum point, then you can round the shoulders, tuck your chin, and fold forward. I encourage you to avoid pulling the feet up towards your head. It can actually reduce integrity in the ankles, so you want to keep the ankles protected. Come back to center. Bring the knees together. And then take a little moment here. You can hug the knees. And then from here, come into a tabletop. So you can try it like this. From where you are, you can cross the legs, bring your hands forward, and then you can actually come back into your plank. If you want to take another flow, you can flow. Or meet us in a tabletop position when you're ready. Your knees, your hands. Now, from your tabletop, you're going to start by sliding the right arm underneath of the left, threaded needle. Right arm underneath of the left. Usually palm facing up, but depending on your body structure, again, you might find palm facing down feels better. Stretch the left arm, and then slide your hips to the right. And notice when you slide the hips to the right, what effect that has on the shoulder, if any. You can breathe consciously, slowly here for the next 5 breaths. Maybe even close your eyes. Slowly come back into your tabletop position. And then tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Getting set up in pigeon pose, lift your right leg, And bring the right knee to the right wrist, same side. Before going any farther, always make sure that that back leg gets sent back. You want to get as long as possible. You can untuck the back toes and then square the hips. So this means pulling your right hip back and the left hip forward. At first, it might feel sort of unnatural, and that's okay. So you're really wanting to find that square hip position. Painful is not okay. A little bit of discomfort is. So please know the difference in your body. And then from here, you can always stay upright. If today you're wanting to work with balance and strength, you can stay upright. And for those of you who'd like to recline, I encourage you to come down onto your forearms, and you're going to hang out in sort of like a Sphinx pose. So you've got your palms and your forearms on the ground. Keep the chest elevated and keep the head elevated rather than letting the head hang. You're nice and strong through the neck. Now, if you chose to stay upright today, I'm going to let you play around here at your own will. So whatever that feels like for you. Maybe that means keeping the fingertips on the ground in the proud pigeon. Maybe you like to play with your balance, starting with one arm and then the other. Maybe you want to work towards your king pigeon or mermaid pose, sending that back leg. So again, play around, explore your body. There's no wrong way to yoga. And if you did choose to stay upright and you're ready to recline, you're welcome to recline at any point. From here, everyone come back up to your fingertips. So back in your proud pigeon to start. Sit down onto the right sit bone and then swing the left leg forward and over top. So now we're sitting in a pose. It looks something like this. Legs are crossed. You want to push that left sit bone into the ground. Then from here, we're actually going to set up in our shoelace pose. So what this means is I personally really like to bring my fingertips to the floor, lean forward, and then cross the legs as much as possible so that the knees are sort of stacked. It will never be perfect. It might be, actually. If you're really flexible in the hips, you might have the knees completely stacked. Don't worry if that's not the case. You just cross the legs as much as possible. So we're getting that stretch through the outer hips. So you want to feel that stretch happening in the outer hips. Now from here, many variations with the upper body. You could stay upright, fingertips to the ground. You could fold forward if you find that's supportive. You could actually play around, so left knee over, right arm over, and then working with shoulder release here. Again, there's no wrong way. So if you feel like you started with the shoulder stretch and at some point you need to bring your fingertips down or fold forward, you can change it up. It's totally fine. Notice if you're clenching your jaw, and if so, relax the jaw, relax your tongue, relax your brow bone and your eyes. Wherever you are with your arms, you're going to release. And then from here, we're coming back into a tabletop position. So again, if you'd like, you can try bringing your hands forward and then simply bringing yourself into a table from here. If that doesn't work for you today, no worries. However you get there is perfectly fine. And then once you're in your tabletop position, this one you're sliding your left arm under. Extend that right arm forward, and then slide your hips to the left. Slowly bring yourself back into your tabletop position. Downward facing dog, lift the hips. And then pigeon pose on the other side, lift your left leg. And bring your left knee to the left wrist. Again, as you land here, start by sending the right leg back. Square the hips, which means left hip back. And then whatever variation you like, whatever you did on the other side, you want to try to mimic that. Again, if you do recline, you want to stay in your Sphinx pose here on your forearms. Now, the reason that we stay on the Sphinx pose here, of course, you can come down lower. That's not a problem. However, today, the intention is that we're working with strength in the shoulder, also drawing the shoulders back and down and lifting the heart. And this is excellent for postural alignment, especially if you work at a desk or you spend a lot of time sitting and rounding the shoulders forward. This is going to help to counter that and strengthen the muscles in the back that help support our posture. It's also a really great way to ensure we have a little bit more space to breathe. So as you lift the heart, you ultimately leave a little bit more space for the lungs. So every inhale, when you expand, there's a little bit more room for the lungs to expand too. And you're never hanging the head. Always, always keep the head and neck aligned with the spine. Let's set up in our shoelace pose. So you're coming up, back to your fingertips. Sit down onto the left sit bone, and then swing the right leg forward and over top. Now again, I'm only shifting so that you can see me better here, but you can stay facing whatever direction you are. Again, if you want to lean forward, you can. You're adjusting and sending that right leg over a little bit farther, getting the knees stacked as much as possible. And then from here, whatever position you did with the arms on the other side, because it's the right leg over, left arm comes over if you took your shoulder stretch. You might notice that this side is a very different experience than the other side, and that's totally fine. That's very normal. If you find this side a little bit more challenging, again, notice if you find tension in the throat and your jaw. Very often when we feel tense or tight in the hips, we clench the jaw, consciously releasing that space, relaxing the shoulders. Unless, of course, you're taking your shoulder stretch, but if the fingertips are down on the ground, you want to soften your shoulders. Focus your awareness on your breath for the last 4 breaths. And then from here, you can release. So however you come out of this pose, maybe you like to simply uncross the legs. Maybe you want to come back through tabletop. Whatever way you come out of this is totally fine. And then from here, we're setting up for Shavasana. So as you come down, again, if you prefer, you can roll back. If you prefer, you can come to your forearms. And then come down vertebrae by vertebrae. Whatever way you get onto your back, make your way there. Take your hands under your head, lift, and then lower it back down. Get that extra bit of length through the back of the neck. Take your arms open wide, palms facing to the sky. And then you can stretch your legs forward. Of course, if you'd like to keep your knees bent, this is a really nice support for your low back. It would be knees together, feet wide, constructive resting pose. Or stretch the legs forward for a more traditional shavasana. And then once you're lying down, take a couple of deep breaths. Every exhale, letting your body soften and melt just a little bit more. And then eventually closing your lips, letting your tongue rest on the roof of your mouth. Your teeth are separated. Relax your brow bone, relax your throat, relax your jaw, and your shoulders and your chest. The only place that you have to be right now is here, right here. Before moving anything in your body, few deep breaths. If you have the time today to stay for a little longer, then please know you are welcome to stay as long as you are eventually ready to move slowly. Very much for sharing your practice today. Namaste.